In 1969, 10 U.S. Army elite Rangers were sent on a near-suicide mission to rescue Sergeant Four-Leaf Tayback. Of the 10 men sent, only 4 of them returned. Of those 4, 3 wrote books. Of those 3, only 2 were published. And of those 2, only one of them got a movie deal. And out of the thousands and thousands of podcasts, only one attempted to cover that movie. This is Tropic Thunder.
And this is Quotable. Welcome to episode 4, everybody.
Yes, we are back at it again.
And Tropic Thunder, my man.
Yep. Loving every minute of it.
Yeah, I know you've been very excited to do this one because you know this movie a lot better than I do.
Oh, so. Yeah. I mean, you've been giving them, like your last movie when we did My Cousin Vinny, you said it was in your top 5. Tropic Thunder is definitely in my top 5. I can watch this movie anytime, anywhere, back to back even. I love it. I love this movie.
Yeah, and even going back and watching it, over the past week just to get caught up with it, it just reminded me of how good of a movie it is to where you can just watch it over and over and not get sick of it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was such a task to try to refamiliarize myself with all the scenes and all the lines, but I don't think this is one that I could just remember each scene, chronologically. So you may have to carry it in that respect, but, just watching it over the past couple of days,
Yeah.
I think I have a good idea of, what makes this such a good movie in my eyes.
Well, I mean, it starts off, you have an all-star cast to begin with. I mean, you have Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, Brandon T. Jackson, Jay Baruchel,
Nick Nolte, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, Matthew McConaughey. I mean,
the list goes on.
Yeah. I mean, and Ben Stiller did a phenomenal job, not just writing the movie, but also directing the movie. So, I mean, with everything that it comes with, I mean, a lot of high quotes in this movie.
I really feel like it was Zoolander playing Ben Stiller's character. It's almost like because he was so dumb in this movie, just like this just beef-headed vacuous actor.
Yeah,
he's the puppet.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of them kind of come off as idiots in their own way.
That is true. It's not just him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the smartest person in the entire movie was
Al Pacino.
Kevin McKiskey.
Well, no, yeah, for sure.
So
he's the newbie.
But he actually went through all the stuff that he needed to go through.
Yeah, he actually comes across very intelligible and
yeah, and then I would say Al Pacino is right behind him on that.
He's very self-aware.
Yes, very self-aware.
A marketing genius.
A rapper.
He wears many hats. Yeah, for sure. He can sew the shit out of some patterns. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
He sewed them patterns himself, baby.
But the opening sequence where it just shows the fake movie trailers, just so you can get a sense of the quote-unquote actors that are playing this movie.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was with my wife, and we actually saw it in theaters. And I remember just laughing and laughing and laughing. But within the first 5 minutes of it, because you have, like you said, these movie trailers that, I mean, they're 4 movies that don't exist.
Well, one of them's not even a movie. It's just like a commercial for Booty Sweat.
And Bustin' Nut Bars.
It's like a 2-for-1 commercial.
Yeah, but people were leaving. Like, they were getting up and leaving the movie theater, I guess, because within 30 seconds, they were like, this is the most disgusting movie I've ever seen in my entire life. So I enjoyed that even more.
Yeah, you get the theater to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? But yeah, so you got the commercial, then you have the Scorcher series, played by Ben Stiller's character, Tug Speedman.
Yep, Tug Speedman.
And I don't have the trailer memorized, but it's like something along the lines of in 2013,
when the world's rotation just stopped.
There's only one man.
Yeah, there was only one man that they could come to and count on. And
it's funny, it just shows a shot of him. He's like on the top of a mountain or cavern or something like that, and he's holding a baby.
Yeah, with what looks like a ray gun in the other hand. And
he's just got this confused look on his face with his head tilted sideways like a dog that heard a weird noise.
Yeah. And then nobody saw it coming 3 more times.
Something like that.
So they're up to Scorcher 6, but that's when there's an eclipse, like a full-on eclipse, and the world freezes.
It creates another ice age, basically.
Yeah, so it shows the entire valley that you just saw on fire, and lava and molten rock everywhere is now all frozen over, and he's standing on the same cliff, but this time he has 2 babies strapped to him, and he's holding 2 guns, and the tagline in his final part of the movie is, "Who left the fridge open?"
And then
it goes to Jeff Portnoy and his movie, The Fatties.
The Fatties, where it's basically like Dr. Dolittle over. Was it Dr. Dolittle? No, what was the one that Eddie Murphy did? It would have been
like The Nutty Professor.
Yeah, I never saw any of those.
Oh, it's actually really good. It's funny. I mean, they don't sit around the table and fart. But
it's the same premise where he plays the same character or multiple characters within the same movie wearing a fat suit.
Yep.
But, fake movie.
Yeah, and they're all at this fancy restaurant, and they just start farting.
Yeah.
And
starting with Granny.
Yep, Granny. And then I'm assuming the mom, the dad, the kids. There might be an aunt in there somewhere.
I think the daughter character, I guess, she's like, "Granny, ew."
Yeah.
And just multiple characters just playing off of each other, and then they all end up taking turns farting.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this one, he's like a biker dude.
Yeah.
And he says, "In some countries, it's considered a compliment." Fatties, fart too.
So then it goes from there to Kirk Lazarus, who you come to find out is the heavyweight of all these movies. Like, it seems like the go-to actor in Hollywood. And he has his movie that's come out with MTV's Best Kiss winner.
Tobey Maguire.
And that movie is funny because it was a time when you were different. To be different was to be condemned. And to be condemned was to be put to death.
To die or whatever. And it's like, he plays a priest. Well, actually, both of them play priests.
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire, he's only in this for this one trailer.
Yeah.
But it's like they're both priests who are lovers. At least that's what's implied by this trailer. And it's just, the forbidden love aspect of it. But the fact that they call it Satan's Alley, it makes no sense.
I've been a bad boy.
But it's funny, like in the background, it's like they're playing Enya or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, and then it goes to the real opening of the sequence or of the movie, where you have these guys in Vietnam trying to make the most expensive war movie ever made about Vietnam. So
they're already in the process of filming the movie.
Yeah. And, you have Robert Downey Jr. who, all right, well, I mean, there's no way to tiptoe around this.
You can't really.
Yeah, you can't really tiptoe around it. Okay, he did blackface in this movie, which I know for a fact it could never be made today because everybody would be way too sensitive about it. But, I mean, he was in the movie with other black actors who I'm pretty sure they were like, nah, it's fine.
I mean, and I don't even like that term because that's what was done like like how many, like over a century ago,
Yeah.
when white actors would actually paint just their faces black.
Yeah.
Literally black, not a natural shade.
Yeah.
And that's where that whole term came from. But like, no, like his character, and it even talks about this controversial procedure that Kirk Lazarus,
the skin pigment alteration surgery.
Right. He had some procedure done to give him that the darker complexion.
Yeah, because he wants to be the platoon sergeant's
Osiris.
Yeah, Lincoln Osiris.
And so he's got a wig to match, and he's in character the entire movie.
Yeah, he never breaks character.
Not until the DVD commentary.
Yeah. So, they're filming this movie, and you got guys radioing for help. Guy gets shot in the back of the head. And then you have
Jack Black's character.
Yeah.
He's trying to cover all the blood from shooting out the back of this dude's helmet, and it's just over the top.
It's very over the top.
Fake blood squirting. But
it's just so funny. Because you're sitting there thinking, it's like, well, the guy's dead, so what difference does it make now? So they're trying to call in for air support. They're trying to call in for help. Then Kevin Sandusky, his character, he grabs the phone trying to call for help, turns around. Here comes a Viet Cong, Charlie, and just stabs him in the stomach and rips his stomach open. So you have all these
guts.
Fake guts just falling out. And he has nothing left in his midsection. But the whole time he's just like, I think I can put it back in.
The fact
I can put it back in.
He comes up with his bayonet, and he slowly cuts open his midsection, and then Kevin's just letting it happen.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't try to stop it at all. He just sees the guy coming at him, and he's like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he's just playing with his guts as they're falling out of his torso.
So they get everybody back to the chopper, and that's where Lincoln Osiris is, and he's telling everyone, you got to get down. Oh, come on, we got to get out of here. Get this skid up. Elevator up. Because they can't find Sergeant Four-Leaf Tabak.
Right, played by Ben Stiller.
Yeah. So Kevin Sandusky points, I guess, in his kind of like dying breath, like, look.
Which there's no way he would have made it onto the chopper if,
this
had actually happened.
Yeah, they would have let him die in the field.
He happens to spot Four-Leaf in the distance, running away from a whole group of Charlie, and as he's running, he's just getting pelted with bullets.
Yeah, it looks, in all honesty, it looks like he got shot
at least 20, 30 times.
I was going to say probably like 35 to 40 times.
It's possible.
But still alive.
But it's funny that Osiris, he's survive. That's not how it works.
Yeah, so then he runs after him, and when he turns to his platoon, he tells them, cover me, you limp dick fuck-ups. And then takes off, and it shows him running in slow motion, and as he's running, he's just saying things in slow motion to people. Like, there's one guy he shoots, and he's like, peekaboo, I see you.
And then he shoots behind his back.
Yeah.
Like he's fancifying this war scene where he's trying to rescue the main character. And it's outrageous.
So he gets there and starts carrying him back, and a guy pops up out of the ground to throw a grenade at the chopper that's taken off. That Four-Leaf
happens to see out of the back of his head somehow.
No idea how he sees it. So he's like, no, throws his hands up, and it explodes. Well, everything goes flying everywhere. Jeff Portnoy, he falls out of the helicopter hanging on, and it shows Kirk and Four-Leaf as they're laying there, and he was like, hold my hands. And he holds them up.
I got something to say.
Yeah. It's like there are no hands left. And he was like, when we get back to the world, I'm finally going to teach you how to juggle.
And then Kurt just, he just starts bawling,
immediately, right when he says it too.
Sobbing, crying, drooling and dribbling spit all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can tell, Ben Stiller's character, he can't bring himself to cry.
Yeah, he's trying so hard. And at first I had no idea what he was doing. Because I'm sitting there thinking, well, what's going on? Yeah, because he keeps like making weird faces, like he's
really forcing.
Either trying to force like a shit or something, but he's just making weird faces, and he just glances to his right, and then that's when you see everybody, like the cameraman, the director.
This is the first time that you see that this is a movie about filming a movie.
Yeah.
So you see that the helicopter itself is on a crane. It's not actually flying.
Yeah. And then just all the stuff that happens in the background is hysterical as they're trying to have this serious moment.
Right.
And Ben Stiller keeps saying, we have to cut. Like, let's just cut because, I can't. He's like, so he's trying to come up with things because he can't cry.
I'm trying to paint this visual where Kurt is holding his non-existent hands. It almost looks like a tropical plant. Yeah.
It's a palm tree in bloom.
Think of like a peeled banana but covered in blood. That's both of his hands now. But yeah, they're trying to get through the scene because they've got like $4 million worth of explosives that they're trying to time along with these fighter jets.
Yeah, because the fighter jets are coming in 2 minutes. So, we gotta go. And Ben Stiller keeps saying, no, we don't. We're gonna cut.
And you can tell that, these are just like these diva type actors.
Yeah.
That they just expect everything to be handed to them.
Yeah. So Kirk finally gets upset by it because, him and Tug Speedman are going back and forth, who's the better star, who's the bigger actor, but who can do what. And Kirk even says, he was like, man, I'll be waiting until Chinese New Year for my man to cry. He can't cry. That's it. So he gets up and he's like, oh, so we're in rewrites. Time to flip the script.
Yeah.
So he just starts walking away, and Damien Cockburn. Yeah, Cockburn is
the director.
Yeah, is trying to follow him, and then he finally turns around. And he's like, "Stop tailgating me, you piece of tea bag. Can I make a pee-pee?"
Yeah. So he's heading to the row of porta potties.
Yeah,
that they have outside.
And then you've got Cody, who is played by Danny McBride, which honestly, tell you the truth, probably a perfect part for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and he's the one that rigged this tree line with 200 pounds of explosives. Because, you don't even find out explosives. He's like, I got 200 pounds of shit your pants. So
just the way he explains the excitement of getting to blow things up. I mean, you could tell he loves what he does.
Yeah, and since they're in Vietnam, they have Vietnamese crew hands, and one guy goes to hand him something, and he was like, no, that's C4. I said a detonator, dipshit. He's like, I need some guys up here to speak American. God damn it. He's like, Tuk and Kim. They're
trying to like sew knitting sweaters or something.
Yeah, they're trying to knit sweaters up here while I'm trying to put tiger bombs on this jungle's nuts.
And, it cuts to, Cockburn, still arguing with Kirk Lazarus as he's trying to get to the porta potty.
And someone's trying to give him fruit, and it's just too much for him to handle, so he kind of loses it, and he was like, fuck the fruit and this, and I can't believe it. So he's just
throws a temper tantrum.
Cocksucking son of a bitch, and he's jumping up and down, and then Danny McBride looks down, and he's like, that's a signal. That's the signal.
Go. They throw down the hammer on the detonator, and just this massive row of explosions.
Huge explosion that scares everybody on the set, really, except for Tug Speedman, who's just sitting there, and he turns around, he's like, sweet. And then Kirk Lazarus just opens up the porta potty door and looks out.
He's like, the timing of that was so spot on.
Yeah.
Because, he looks out as if like, the fuck was that? Yeah. The look on his face is priceless.
Yeah. So then it goes away to Tug Speedman's casa, I guess, that he's staying at in Vietnam. And he, he's just going around looking at the, all the fruit things and stuff. And he has hooks for hands because, his hands got blown off. So he's got to get used to using them. Well, he's doing everything, and he's watching the Access Hollywood piece by Maria Menounos.
Mm-hmm.
And she's talking about everyone, like Jeff Portnoy is just off his recent conviction where he had heroin, glue, and crack possession.
Yeah, it shows a mug shot of him, and his like eye is. He just looks like he got the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to like a brief little interview with him where he's like, a lot of people out there have been disrespecting me. They think that this movie's about farts. It's about family. And fuck you. You can't do what I do. And he like bites off the cushion on top of the microphone and spits it at the camera.
And then you don't see Al Pacino, but you just hear him in the back, and he was like, "Hey, drink booty sweat, baby. Drink booty sweat." And then
his big thing is promoting his product line.
Yes,
because he's just marketing his ass off.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur would do, especially when you're brand new to it.
So he's got Booty Sweat energy drink. He's got the Bust a Nut protein bar or whatever. I'm assuming it's a protein bar. Then he's got his own line of clothing.
Yes.
That he even sewed the patterns for himself.
Yep.
And, so that's his bag.
Yep. And then so then it cuts away to Kurt Lazarus, who everyone talks about him being a method actor. He just totally immerses himself in every role that he takes. And
just the random shenanigans where the paparazzis are catching him in his not so fine moments.
Yeah.
Where he's, butt naked out on the balcony somewhere flipping off the camera.
While he's down in like a bottle of Jose Cuervo.
Right.
And then he's walking down the street with one of his buddies and just starts beating up the paparazzi. And you don't know who he's dressed like in that.
No, but it's just, he's the Hollywood bad boy.
Yeah.
Actor.
Which, there are actors like that, they're method actors. So it's like when they take on a role, they take on that life, that person. And I think they picked Robert Downey Jr. for that because he does that with his roles. Which I'm getting off the point on that one, but still with that, but then they go to Tug and they're saying that, he's kind of yesterday's news.
That his movies are kind of just tailing off.
Yeah, these Scorcher films are not.
They've kind of lived past their prime.
Yeah, just like Police Academy. So
they did 12 of those?
I think probably more than that. Somehow they brought some of the people that have passed away back to life just to be in another one.
Yeah, CGI works wonders.
Yeah,
but they wanted to give everybody a sense of who the actors were playing in this movie about making a movie.
Yeah, and then so then you got when he's being interviewed by Tyra Banks for her show Tyra, and she said that you're childless. You're not married, no kids, and someone close to you recently said, "One more flop, and it's over."
Someone said they were close to me?
Love it. I love that part. Everything that she just insulted him with, and the only thing that he came back with was, "Someone said they were close to me?"
That's what he heard.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
So then he gets a phone call from his agent, Rick Peck.
Played by Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, and Matthew McConaughey did a outstanding job in this part.
And you can't help but observe the fact that in this movie he's sporting what I could call the Justin Timberlake perm.
Yeah,
from the no strings attached years of NSYNC.
So, they're talking over the phone, and he's
playing Nintendo Switch.
He's playing the Wii
or the Wii, whatever.
Yeah, he's playing tennis.
That's it. This was before Switch came out.
Yeah, so he's talking about he was like, "Oh, well, how'd the crying scene go?" And he's just like, "Not good." He's like, Lazarus started crying, and he was dribbling and drooling, and it wasn't even in the script.
Mm-hmm.
So Matthew McConaughey or Rick Peck,
you think he's going to defend him?
Yeah, you think he's going to be like, "Whoa, okay, don't worry, I'll talk to someone and we'll get it done." He's like, whoa, you got to buck up there, Tugboat. He's like, if he cries, you cry harder, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, didn't you have like a dog with leukemia or something? I mean, just get that going. He's like, well, what about this Access Hollywood piece? He's like, yeah, it's not looking good. He's like, right now, you're like the kid on the playground that's got lice and no one wants to play with him. He's like, well, what are you saying? It's like, well, we got to shave your head and get you back on the monkey bars.
He's got his own dialogue.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever says these things. But it's funny. He's looking at Vanity Fair magazine.
Yeah.
And on the back of it, there's a picture of Tug Speedman holding a panda.
A cute, vicious, cuddly little panda.
From the town of cuteness or something. Yep. I can't remember what.
Yeah. Like. No, he's like, oh, you're just looking super cute in Cutesville.
Right. Something like that. So pandas are his favorite animal, which you find out later on.
I think my favorite part in this entire scene is when they're having their back and forth. You can tell that they're really good friends. Like they've been friends for years. Mm-hmm. And they're also business partners. So I think what I love most about it is when he asks, when Rick Peck asks him.
About the TiVo?
No, not the TiVo, is about the adoption. Because Ben Stiller's trying to, I guess, adopt a baby and show that he can be a family man.
A responsible adult.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, it's not good. And he's looking at the picture on his desk of him and his son. And the kid's not even looking at the camera. He's just looking down like he's depressed or just thinking about something else.
He's like, if only I could choose mine.
Yeah, what Peck tells him, he's just like, well, at least you get to choose yours.
Right.
I'm stuck with mine.
It's so messed up.
It is so messed up, but so great. So great. Oh, such a great interaction. But the TiVo, yes. The TiVo is hysterical.
The TiVo has its own, it's a recurring.
It has a role in this movie.
It really does. And like, I know most people are thinking like, who the fuck ever even had a TiVo? I never had a TiVo growing up.
Yeah, and neither did I. Either had a VCR or a DVD player or a DVR when that became a thing.
And I think they probably added it because it's funny.
Yeah.
That like this Hollywood actor would be worried about a fucking TiVo being on the set or available for their digital entertainment.
Yeah. And then what I think is great about that is when he asked, he was like, oh, they get the TiVo hooked up? And he's like, no. He's like, they have digital cable, but it's fine. And he was like, whoa, no. He was like, you don't have to explain to me why you need TiVo or clean water, clean sheets, food, shelter. I fought for that in your contract. And it's funny because everything else he needs, like he would need clean water. He would need food. He would need shelter.
Nobody fucking needs TiVo.
You don't need TiVo. So then it goes to
try saying that nowadays. Though.
Yeah.
Well, not about TiVo, but you have to have some form of streaming service. Otherwise, you're dead.
Yeah. But then it goes to, Damian Cockburn obviously has to meet Les Grossman, the guy who financially backed this movie, Tropic Thunder. So he's trying to, they're doing a video recording.
Like a satellite video feed conference call.
And, they're in Vietnam. Les Grossman's obviously back in Hollywood. So they're like 10,000 miles apart from each other. And they just need to have a little FaceTime. But as, Les Grossman's assistant says, he was like, look, sometimes he just says things like, not rolling.
You're fired. Explosions.
Fired. He's like, these are just words.
But it's funny when they finally get the satellite feed connected and, Les Grossman, who's played by Tom Cruise, and he's wearing, God, the makeup job on this is funny as hell.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of a fat suit that they put on him, but it's not just the body. They add like these really thick, hairy arms and, fat fingers.
Yeah, I mean, and it was
bald cap.
Yeah, and I mean, but the amount of chest hair that they used.
It's insane.
Is ridiculous.
And then they had to... they added this fake beard on him.
Yeah.
That really looks like they just glued pubes on his face.
Which I've never seen Tom Cruise with a beard, so it makes me wonder if he could even grow one.
He probably can't.
Yeah. That may have been why they did it. I'm not sure. But
actually, hold on. In The Last Samurai, didn't he have one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it was a pretty epic beard. So,
but I don't know if it was a real beard or not. It could have been a,
Yeah, see, I don't know. You know what? After we get done here, I'll give Tom a call and find out.
He would probably remember.
Yeah, I'm sure he would.
I'm sure he'll be cool that you have his number, too.
Yeah, and he's just going to be like, yeah, no, it was totally my beard. Who
What's
the hell
up,
is
Dutch?
this? Yeah, who the hell is this? How'd you get this phone number?
Have you never heard the Quotable podcast?
You're missing out, Tom.
Believe me, we give you some shout-outs, at least in one episode thus far.
So they have this little camera, on the side of this huge TV where you can see Les, and he's just sitting there, and he's like,
controlling the camera from remotely.
He's like, which one of you little fuck sticks is Damien Cockburn? And he's raising his hand. He's like, oh, hi.
He it's like he knows that he's going to be looking for him specifically.
Yeah.
So before he even gets the question out, he's already got his hand up.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's really nice to meet you.
Get some FaceTime.
Get some FaceTime. And he's like, who here's the key grip? And this one random guy.
He looks like a big Hawaiian dude.
Yeah. He just raises his hand. He's like, you? He's like, I want you to walk over to that director and hit him really fucking hard.
And he does.
Yeah.
He walks right up to him. He's like, sorry, man.
Just decks him.
Punches the living shit out of him, and his nose is instantly bleeding.
Yeah. So he's just like, and that has to be satisfying for Les.
Yeah.
Just because, you're 10,000 miles away and you really want to punch someone because you just wasted $20 million.
And Damien wants to defend himself because I'm dealing with a bunch of, pansy-ass actors, bunch of prima donnas.
Yeah, and he was like, you know what you do? He's like, you know what you do with any actor? He was like, you take down their pants and you spank their ass.
And then you got Bill Hader, who plays Les's assistant.
Yeah.
He happens to be on set.
Yes.
And he's such a kiss-ass. He's just like the yes man.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because as soon as Les says that, he's like,
spank their ass.
Spank that ass, Les.
So then you got the real four-leaf Tayback, who's played by Nick Nolte, sitting in the back just by himself, like a lonesome Vietnam recluse.
Eating an apple.
Yeah, and he's like, spanking a child is like, turns him into a brat. And then you just see Tom Cruise, and he's just like, who is this?
Yeah, he just says what you've got to do to him to, like, make a man out of him.
He's like, you got to take him out and put him in the real shit. And then he was like, I know a place where a man's weight's measured by the ears on his dog tags. And then so you just see him, he's like, who the hell is this? And they're like, oh, that's Tayback. And he's like, Sergeant Four-Leaf Tayback.
I wrote the book. He's like, oh, well, you're one hell of an American, and we owe you a debt of gratitude.
Yeah.
Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job.
So as he's eating this apple, he just spits it out. Because,
he clearly hit a nerve with that.
Yeah.
He wants to be taken seriously for, being responsible for this entire thing.
Yeah. And then, Les Grossman crushes that can of Diet Coke and throws it behind him and hits someone. And you hear this man make a noise that I have never heard a grown man make.
It doesn't even sound like a human being could make this noise. It sounds like a goddamn dog's squeaky toy or something.
That, or it sounds like my cat. Yeah. It's like you just hear.
And I never noticed it until you pointed that out. And then you, rewound it a few times, and it just gets funnier every time you see this.
It does get funnier. So, he finally tells Damien, he's like, take control of your actors, or I'm going to shut you down. Diet Coke! And 2 Diet Cokes just appear right in front of them from each side. So then it goes to the beach that night where Cockburn's out there.
Getting drunk.
Yeah, off of Patron?
The bottle itself, it looks like a Patron bottle, but the label looks different. So it does look like some form of tequila, which is weird because they're in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the drink of choice is.
Probably not Patron.
No.
So
some form of sake, maybe?
Probably.
I don't know.
So he's out there, getting drunk, and he sees Four-Leaf just in a tent on the beach. So he goes over and he was like, what, you don't like the hotel room?
Beds give me nightmares.
Which is something that makes no sense.
It's not the bed.
Yeah.
It's probably what you ate before you laid in it.
So he tells him, I bet you're as lost as a little boy looking for... He's like, I bet you couldn't find your pecker with both hands and an Ohio hooker showing you the way.
But it's funny when he sees Four Leaf in that tent thing, and Four Leaf is like... He's like, yeah, it's me. Or he's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, he has to reassure him that it's okay to come over and talk to him, which I thought was kind of funny. Then he sits down inside the tent, and Four Leaf is, going on this whole tangent about, like, what they need to do.
He wasn't blowing his own bagpipes in that meeting today. He said, I know a place. And he was like, we got to get him off the fucking grid. He's like, I know a place. It'll put him in the real shit.
Yeah, he's like, get some of those video type cameras.
Yeah. Not just a video camera or videotape camera, a video type.
Video type cameras.
He's like, can you give me and that pyromaniac Cody enough explosives, claymores, landmines to light up a fucking jungle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's like, get him in the real shit.
Yeah, and then he tells him, Cockburn.
He's like, yeah,
seriously thinks about it. He's like,
guerrilla style.
Yeah, I could film this whole thing guerrilla style.
He's like, we'll do it gritty, dirty.
Yeah, and
he's like, none of their ass licking assistants.
Yeah,
nearby.
And then he tells him, trying to think exactly how he words it. But he was like, yeah, they'll be crying for their mammies. He was like, they'll be begging for her body bag if it means a ride home.
Yeah, that's true. He's like, in the shit.
Yep, in the shit. And he's
like,
take him off the fucking grid.
Yes.
So
they're back and forth saying yes. Yeah. But yeah, then it cuts to them in the helicopter.
Yep. You got the 5 men in the helicopter. You got the director. Then you got the real Four Leaf Tayback and Danny McBride, who's flying the helicopter.
So Damien's explaining to them like what's going on as they're dropping him into the jungle, and he's like, "You're not 5 actors. You're just 5 men in a helicopter
with three other men." Yeah, so they drop him off out in the middle of nowhere, and he explains to him, the studio wants to shut us down. That's good news and bad news. He's like, we're going to get shut down. He was like, but this is how we're going to film it from now on. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're going to film it guerrilla style. He's like, I've rigged cameras from unseen vantage points. But right when he points at it, it's very visible. Mm-hmm. And then he says that he's going to start directing from very unseen vantage points.
So you just got the 5 actors plus the director.
Yes.
And he's got this handheld camera.
Yes.
And he's just walking them through how they're going to film this movie and try to make it look as realistic as possible.
Yes.
So. And as he's explaining this to him, and he starts walking away, like towards the jungle, he steps on like an old landmine.
Yeah.
And he just gets blown apart.
Well, and what's great is, he has the ability to really jack these actors up. Like, all of them are getting excited, like, wow, this is what I signed on for. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to do. I really want to film this movie now. So he's sitting there and he was like, yeah, no, he's like, this is going to be gritty. It's going to be dirty. He's like, if it feels like it's real, then it most likely is.
Oh, when they get out of the helicopter and he starts slapping the shit out of Jack Black's character.
It's like,
he's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck. Dude. He takes all their cell phones and then puts them into like one of their helmets.
I like it when he goes by Kirk Lazarus and he was like, there were no cell phones in 1969. I'm head to toe legitimate. But he goes on and starts talking about all this, and then he was like, I have the walkie-talkie. He's like, it goes to the helicopter and only the helicopter.
Right.
The helicopter is God, and I am his son, Jesus Christ. And he's like, now let's go make the greatest war movie ever. And then turns around and you hear a click, and he looks down and he just says, oh. And then there's this explosion. Very small explosion, but you see body parts flying everywhere.
It's really more of a poof than an explosion, and it's just his body just vanishes.
Yeah, so I think everyone's just kind of thinking, I think the only person like Kirk Lazarus is like, man, he's dead.
He's the only one that has an idea.
But Ben
this
Stiller
actually happened.
Yeah, Tug Speedman is like, oh no, smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, he's trying to get in our heads.
Yeah, all that playing God stuff, and then Kirk's just, he ain't playing God.
He's being judged by him. But right after the explosion happens, you see the 5 of them just standing there, like trying to like process what just happened.
Yeah.
And then you see Jeff Portnoy in the background. He's just like, yeah, woo! He's like trying to get psyched up about what just happened. And like you said, Kurt's the only one that seems to understand.
And Kevin Sandusky
got blown up.
Yeah, Kevin Sandusky actually finds like a part of what happened, and he's like, "Oh, it looks like an old French mine.
Mm-hmm.
He must have accidentally stepped on it."
He's like, "They're probably all over this jungle."
Yeah. So Ben Stiller's like stomping on the ground around him, which something just exploded. It's probably the last thing that I would want to do.
Yeah.
But he actually looks down and sees Damien's head and picks it up, and he was like, "Guys, I think I can spot a prop head when I see one." And all these tendons and everything are hanging out the bottom. So he sticks his finger up and he licks it, and he's just like, it's just corn syrup. Warm,
he puts his finger
flavored corn syrup.
Puts his finger up into the neck hole, and then tastes it.
Yeah,
he's like, warm blood flavored corn syrup.
Yeah, but then you have real Vietnamese guerrillas that are in the jungle that heard the explosion. Now hear these people talking, so they're up there, they're radioing back to their headquarters. Like, we have a heavily armed military force in the area. There's like, oh, is it DEA? And he was like, I don't think so. So then you got Ben Stiller, who puts the head on the end of his rifle, and he's shaking it up and down. He's like, whoa, Damien, we got our war faces on. And the guy radios back, they have no fear of death. So they're talking about, the scene that they're getting ready to go through. And he was like, all right, we spot movement in the brush. A battle ensues. There's an explosion. We blow the tree line. And he points to Sandusky and tells him, I got a bad feeling about this one. And Sandusky's he's like, yeah, I do.
He's like, no, that's your line.
That's your line. He's like, oh, wait, what was it? I got a bad feeling on this. He's like, how do you say it? I got a bad feeling on this.
But it's funny that he wouldn't know that that's his line, considering he's the only one that actually read the script.
Yeah. So they're walking through the valley, and he's just like, I got a bad feeling on this one, Vats.
Yeah, because they decide we're going to go ahead and proceed with shooting this movie.
Yeah.
Based on the hidden cameras that are all over the jungle.
Yeah, so all 4 guys, you have Kevin Sandusky, Al Pacino, Tug Speedman, and Jeff Portnoy, who are walking through, and they're like, okay, so they're filming the scene. They're going to do this movie. And then Kirk just stands up and he's like, hey, asshole, this motherfucker's dead. Mm-hmm. So he was like, this ain't no Chris Angel, mind freak, David Blaine, no bullshit like that.
Yeah, and then Tug gets pissed that he's ruining a take.
Yeah, he's like, what, you're going to ruin another take? And he was like, ain't no more takes. Ain't no more goddamn motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, yeah? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, and he's like, why are you still in character? He's like,
he's like, well, I know.
I know, but I don't have to tell you. It's like, shit, everybody knows I don't drop character until I do the DVD commentary. And then that's when the gunfight ensues.
Yeah, so they actually were getting shot at by real Viet Cong.
Yeah, and what's funny is Tug Speedman just sits there and he tells everyone, he's like, great, we're out of place for the effect. So then Kevin Sandusky's like, I don't know, this feels pretty real to me. And he's like, yeah, I know. Let's use it. So he just goes up and starts firing back. And obviously, since he's an actor and he has a movie prop gun, he has blanks. So as he's firing back, nothing's happening. And the people that are firing down on them are just kind of like, what? Like, what's happening? And everyone else just kind of joins in, except for Kirk, who has a feeling, and his feeling is correct, that this is all real. So he's just going to stay down as low as possible. Well, that's when it cuts back to Nick Nolte and Cody up on the hill. And he's like, man, they're busting caps like a motherfucker down there. He's like, this is FUBAR. I think we should juice him. What do you think? And Nick Nolte's just like, juice him.
So you see Tug Speedman pull the pin on his prop grenade, and then throw it into this group of Charlie that's hiding in the tree line.
Yeah, as they look back at it, and then not Jeff Portnoy, but Cody when he just has the detonators and he's like, big ass titties.
Right before he hits the button.
Yeah.
And there's C4 like right on the trees that, explodes. It doesn't kill anybody. It doesn't.
Yeah. But I mean, the drug cartel realized, man, we gotta skedaddle. We have to get out of here.
Right.
Because they're obviously very heavily armed and they have explosives.
Right.
So they think that this is some DEA agency, and then all the actors think that, oh, it's just other actors. So we'll probably run into them again. So they go, that's when they just go trekking through the jungle and everything. And the soundtrack for the movie is actually really good.
Yeah,
so
got some Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Rolling Stones.
Yeah, Rolling Stones. I mean, it's great. So
it's the perfect soundtrack for a war movie.
Yeah. But, Jeff has his problem with drugs, and it shows him just kind of going off into the brush here and there, and he's, trying to, I guess, just dumping out some heroin.
You only see him portraying the character at the beginning of the movie. The rest of the time, he's just going through withdrawals.
Yeah. And so one of the times where he's trying to get all this stuff out, he's like, I just need a little taste, baby, just a little taste. And Kevin Sandusky comes up. He's like, what are you doing, Jeff? He's like, fucking nothing.
Yeah, and you see powder going everywhere.
Yeah, he's like, just eating some jelly beans. He's like, oh, I love jelly beans. Can I have some? He's like, no, you can't have any of my fucking jelly beans.
You think you're the only one that gets sick when he doesn't have any jelly beans? But it's funny, it's fucking powder, and it looks like it's in a Fun Dip pouch or something. It doesn't look like a regular, why would you carry drugs around in this kind of package?
So I think I like when it shows the first time that they just kind of stop and rest, because, Kirk he's destined to think, oh, well, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing. Like, we need to get back as quickly as possible, because people are Damien died. And now we're out here in the middle of nowhere with someone that doesn't know what he's doing.
And he won't give up the map.
Yeah, he won't give up the map. So as they're at the camp for the first time, when they're just taking a break, Jack Black, or Jeff Portnoy, is because he's just sitting there and he's sweating. He's just like, yes. Oh, I fucking hate movies. It's like, I don't want to be in this shitty movie. But as he realizes no one's paying attention, he pulls out his little package again to get his jelly beans. And a bat flies out of nowhere and grabs it and takes off. He's like, oh. He's like, no, get back here. Get it.
He's like, shit.
Yeah. And as he's leaning against the tree, Alpa's just like, yo, I got a busting up bar. And he's like, you go to hell.
Yeah, he's just trying to be helpful. He doesn't understand that Jeff's going through withdrawals here.
So you have Kevin Sandusky, who goes off to the side of the camp to take a leak real quick. And Kirk walks over and he's like, hey, I'm gonna level with you. I ain't got to pee. I was just trying to talk at you, all right? Just keep looking forward. And he turns around and looks at,
he looks dead at Tug.
Yeah, to make sure it's like, oh, you're not paying attention.
But in the most obvious fashion. You can tell, I didn't come over here to pee.
Yeah.
I came over here to talk.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to hear what we're talking about.
Yeah. So he asked him, he was like, yo, you went to boot camp, right? He's like, yeah. You think you can read a map? Yeah, probably. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, Tug's out of here thinking, we're filming Planet of the Apes or some shit for YouTube. He's like, I don't think so. You want to step on a real landmine? You want to fucking die? Huh? No, keep looking forward. All right. He was like, all right, if I get that map, can I count on you? And he was like, yeah, I guess. And he was like, all right, dynamite. And he smacks him on the butt and walks away. But as he walks away, he just looks at Tug and he's like, I smell like bologna for some reason. I don't know what that means. I have no
idea. Random thing to say.
Yeah. So then, Tug obviously knows, hey, he went to go talk to him. So Tug goes over to talk to him and pulls a booty sweat out of one of his little belt pouches.
Like taking it one step further by trying to emulate the sound of pee.
Yeah. And he tells him, he's like, look, I don't have to pee. I just need to talk to you.
So instead of cracking it open like normal,
he stabs it with a knife. So it sprays everywhere, and that catches everyone's attention. Like they turn around and just stare at it.
You see Kurt in the background just like looking over like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. But the whole time you hear Jeff in the back still chasing the bat. And he's yelling things like, why are you even out in the daytime?
Which makes a good point.
Yeah. So he tells him, he's like, I think Lazarus is trying to torpedo this movie. It's like, yeah. It's like, I think we can get some really good shit out here. He's like, all right, you in? We'll get this one in the can. There could be a Teen Choice Award in it for you. They'll slime you. The whole deal.
Yeah, the whole deal.
And then he was like, you have that kind of potential. He's like, can I count on you, Kyle? And he corrects him. He's like, it's Kevin. He's like, good.
But it's funny, like after he says the whole teen choice thing, his response is, sounds wicked.
Yeah. So he tells him, he smacks him. When he shakes it off too, because he gets done, he's like, and then smacks him on the butt and walks away.
Meanwhile, the whole time, Kevin has not peed.
No.
At all.
And then finally you see the bat fall in the middle of the camp, and then here comes Jeff, and he's like, ha ha ha, you OD'd.
you're dead.
Yeah.
And he grabs the bite. Jesus Christ. He grabs the bat and bites and starts drinking his blood.
Yeah, and they're like, Jesus, Jeff, it's a bat, man. And then that's where coronavirus came from.
That's got to be how it started.
No, so they're, he's like, yeah, no, I'm all out of jelly beans.
The funny thing is, like, when he comes to after biting the bat, he throws it and it hits Alpa in the crotch.
Yeah.
But he doesn't even react like it. Typical guy would respond to somebody getting hit in the crotch, whatever. Even if it's not you would react. But he gets hit in the balls with this bat, and he just standing there,
right,
holding probably a bust a nut bar.
Yeah. So when you have it's funny because you have Cody and Four Leaf, because they have to go back to make sure that Damien ain't forgot how to use the talk box, because they can't get in touch with Damien, who has died.
They've been trying to radio him, and he's not responding.
Right. So they go back, and they see Damien's body, and Four Leaf immediately is like, good job, turd.
You killed the director.
He's like, oh, no. He missed his mark. He's like, I rigged the tree line. This has nothing to do with me. And he's like, oh, yeah, let's bag him and tag him. It's like, you're in a world of hurt, Dumbo. He's like, no, we're in a world of hurt. And he's like, no. As he's trying to get away from him, you just see him, and he was like, look, I almost blinded Jamie Lee Curtis on Freaky Friday. He's like, this shit will ruin me. And as he falls back, he takes the hooks with him that Nick Nolte has been wearing the whole time. He's like, what the fuck? And then that's when the guys come back out and take them hostage. And as Nick Nolte holds his hands up, he actually has real hands.
So he's been faking being a war hero this whole time.
Yes. So he's been faking that he's been hurt. So he goes, they have to fly back to the camp that these guys came from.
Camp, a.k.a. drug processing plant.
Yeah. So when they're tied up to the pole, it's like he spits the rope out of his mouth, and Cody is just like, hey, where the hell are we? So Nick Nolte spits his out, and he's like, I have no idea. I've never been outside the States.
Yeah.
He's like, what? He's like, were you even in the service? And he's like, yeah.
Coast Guard.
Sanitation department. He's like,
you were a fucking trash man.
He's like, oh yeah, FLT back. Lies to me and the whole goddamn US of A. He was like, no, I wrote the book as a tribute. I'm a patriot. No, you're the Milli Vanilli of patriotism.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah. So then it cuts back to it shows them coming up. It shows the actors coming up on the river.
The river.
And he's like,
sounds
Dane?
very much like Dane Cook.
Yeah, it's Dwayne Cook.
Dwayne Cook.
Yeah, Dwayne Cook River. And then you see, and he's like, well, how do you know, man? He's like, oh, I just know. He's like, I got it right here. And he's like, no, let me take a look at that map real quick. And he's like, what? Why is everyone always all of a sudden obsessed with the map? And he's like, hey, come on, man. We're just trying to. And then Tug tells him, he's like, what is it with you people? And then that's when you have Kirk Lazarus, who's a white Australian guy that had pigment alteration, skin alteration. He's like, hey, what do you mean, you people?
Then you got
and you have
Alpha.
Brandon Jackson behind him, who's a real black man, who's like, what do you mean, you people? He's like, huh?
Kurt's like, he just totally dismisses that.
Yeah. So
like he feels he's in the right.
Yeah. So then you see Kirk and he's like, oh no, look at his eyes. Look at it. And then Kevin's trying to calm everyone down. He's like, no. He's like, come on, it's hot. We're all tired. Like, come on, it's
like beady
it's
little
fine.
white devil eyes.
Beady little white devil eyes. So finally, Tug just fires some shots in the air and he's like, all right, everybody just chill. Just chill out. And then that's when Kirk's like, all right, that's it. He's like, I've had enough of this insubordination. If the machine breaks down, we break down. It's like, so then he goes out there
on
to
this whole
talk to
tangent about him looking like
he
Stallone
goes out,
in Rambo 2.
Yeah, he goes out there to talk to Tug and he was like, hey man, he's like, in Rambo 1 when he was big but puffy, he's like, and then Rambo 2 he's all cut up and shredded. He's like, that's how you look. Not Rambo 1 but 2. And he's like, oh really? Well yeah, I mean that's what I'm going for, but he's like, I've been trying to come up with something.
He's like, you more shredded than a Julian salad.
Yeah, he's like, I've been trying to come up with something, but it's tough. He's like, you got any tips? He's
what?
Like, you got any tips you got?
and
he starts talking to him. He's like, oh, well, you got pineapple and this, and he just rips the map out of his hands. He's like, give me that goddamn map. He's walking away and he's like, fuck you. It's like, all right. He's like, come on, McCluskey, tell him what time it is.
He doesn't get his name right the entire movie.
Nobody gets his name right the entire movie.
No, not until the end.
Yep. So he was like, come on, McCluskey, tell him what time it is. So he looks at the map and he's just like, yeah, no.
He immediately notices that they've been going the wrong way after one glance at this map.
Yeah, he was like, we were supposed to be doing this. And it's funny because they keep saying, that you were supposed to head north. And he keeps bringing his finger down. No matter which way he goes.
They're south.
They're heading south. So they're just like, oh, son of a bitch, drug us out in the middle of nowhere and got us lost.
But you see on this map, this big area marked in red, which you can tell is no-no land.
Yeah.
Definitely
somewhere you don't want to be.
Right.
And they're right in the middle of it.
They're in the shit. Accidentally.
Yeah. So,
but Tug decides to go off on his own.
Yeah, because he firmly believes, no, I'm right. We're going the right way. And then they're like, where are you going? And he was like, and he pulls out the scene list and he was like, I'm going to smash cut, exterior, rainforest, 4-leaf treks alone into a frightening jungle.
Right.
He was like, suck on that unit, Kirk. And then he was like, yeah, you go be all you can be.
Yeah, so they all split ways.
Yeah, and the other 4 guys are going in the right direction now. So you have Tug Speedman, who's going through the jungle and seeing things, like with the praying mantis. And he just gets real close to it, and he's just like, hello, Mr. Mantis. You're beautiful.
And it flies into his face.
Yeah, he's like,
and he freaks the fuck out.
Then it shows him on top of a mountain somewhere, which is an actual beautiful view when it pans out.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous scenery.
Yeah, it's like one of those places, if it wasn't in Vietnam, you really want to be lost there. I think it'd just be gorgeous.
Go camping there.
Yeah. So
minus the landmines.
Yeah. So it cuts back to the other 4 guys, and Kevin Sandusky is trying to, I guess, create conversation because, it's probably boring. A long walk, and
he's really the odd man out as far as this group of actors goes.
Yeah.
He's a newcomer to Hollywood. He hasn't established himself as a well-known actor, and he wants to fit in. And he's going off on this whole thing about how they decided between high definition movies and Blu-ray.
Yeah, nobody knew if they were going to back Blu-ray discs or HD DVDs. And he was like, oh, what it just basically comes down to is a combination of video gamers and porn. It's like, well, whoever the porno industry backs, that's who's usually going to win. And then Robert Downey Jr. Kirk just turns around. He's like, "You talking to me this whole time?" It's like, "Well, I'm just talking to whoever's listening."
Yeah, he's just like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Like you could just tell they're getting annoyed because it's just talk.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm okay with idle chatter. I don't want to hear one person talking the entire time. I'd like to, a bunch of other people to, voice in on any topic or whatever. So
you know what this scene reminds me of, kind of, the scene in City Slickers where they're just going down on their horses. Jesus Christ, I could have phrased that a lot better.
Yeah, no,
it's not that kind of movie.
Cut, rewind, edit.
Hey, it's good for the comedy purposes. No, they're
riding on their horses.
They're herding cattle.
Yeah,
and in the process, they have this whole conversation about how you can record movies using the VCR.
Yeah,
without actually having a TV.
Yeah. Which to me makes no sense. He's like, how does it know what to record?
It's a weird concept.
Yeah, it's a very weird concept.
But, it's just that kind of just idle chatter, just filling in the space when they're, they have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
But that's what that kind of, and we'll end up doing City Slickers at some point.
Yeah.
Because that's another one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Both of them, actually.
Yeah.
They're good. But I digress.
Yeah, so when it cuts back to them, Kirk looks at the map and he was like, "Are we making good time?" He's like, "Yeah, but I can guarantee there's no way we get above that ridge before nightfall." He's like, "All right, we're going to set up camp." And they're right next to one of the dirtiest little ponds. And it's like, it's not even a pond. Like, I think I had a above ground swimming pool that was bigger than this body of water.
It was not deep and it was brown.
Yeah, like very, very brown.
It's just like water collected there because it had rained recently.
Yeah. So they're there and, he's talking about how Kirk is saying, he was like, you guys might be in for a treat tonight. Before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I can collar up some of these greens. Make some.
He's like, I can noodle up some crawfish.
Yeah, noodle up some crawfish out the patty, y'all. It's like, damn, make some crab apples for dessert. Ha! It's like, hell yeah. And then that's when Brandon
Alpa gets pissed.
Yeah, Alpa gets pissed, and you could tell he's getting pissed through the more and more through the entire movie
because Kurt's trying to portray a black guy.
Yeah.
And he's trying to do it as believable as possible.
Yeah,
but
for someone in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was like, "That's how we all talk, sir. We talk like this, sir. Give me some ribs, sir." He's like, "You're Australian. Be Australian."
He's just mad because Kurt refuses to break character, even though they are aware that they're not in the movie anymore.
Yeah.
They're not filming this thing.
Yeah.
They're fucked,
basically. So, excuse me, Kangaroo Jack.
And he hops along like a fucking kangaroo. He puts his hands up like a bunny almost.
Yeah. But then it's funny because he turns around and looks at Kevin and he's just like, "I just get excited about my foods, man."
It's like, I can't help it. It's not my fault.
But I love when it shows Tug because he has built a tent out of
he's got magazines,
Elle magazine or something.
Yeah, it's like the most feminine magazines you could imagine.
And he's got a little I can't remember what they were called, like an iPod Nano or something.
It was the one that had video capabilities.
Yeah, and he's watching an episode of Star Trek with William Shatner, and he sets it up on this little shelf that he's made out of God knows what. I have no idea how he made it, and picks up a tube of chapstick.
He's just holding this cherry chapstick in his hand. It's
smudged
like all over the fucking place.
He's taking the cap off so he can, I guess, put chapstick on, but he notices movement in the brush.
So he never puts on the chapstick.
No. So he notices movement in the brush, and he comes out of his tent as it's pouring down rain. So what the magazines actually did, I have no idea. But from what you can tell, a huge wild animal has just broken through the leaves, and him and Tug go back and forth, and he has his knife and he just starts stabbing whatever it is.
In flashes of lightning, you can see that he's
like there's blood flying and everything. And so as soon as he's done, and you can tell, like he can tell that the animal's dead, he has a sigh of relief, like, "Oh, I was almost killed right there. Thank God." Thank God I had my knife.
And then he looks down and realizes what animal he was fighting.
It was a panda.
His favorite animal.
Yep. And then it flashes back to the photo shoot that he did on the back of Vanity Fair of him and the panda. And I mean, he's upset by that. So,
but as a tribute,
yeah. So
he cuts up the panda, and he uses it as like animal armor almost.
Yeah. So the next day when it shows him, it just shows the panda's face, and as it pans down, he has the head and face on his head, and then he's got some of the fur wrapped around his wrists, and he's got big palm frond leaves tied to his back, and he's got bear fur on his legs. And his phone rings. It's the satellite phone that Rick Peck gave him. And he was like, that's a real satellite phone, bro. Do not re-gift.
Yeah, he when everybody had to give up their cell phones when they first landed, he tucks this satellite phone in his pants.
Yeah, so he gets the phone call, and it's Rick. So he answers, and he is like, Rick.
Who was still playing the fucking Wii.
Yeah, he was doing bowling this time. And he's like, Rick, I killed one, Rick. I killed the thing I love most in the world.
So he gets the
he gets his assistant.
Off the phone.
He's like, Vivica, I need you off the line, please. So he hangs up and he's like, all right.
You killed a hooker.
He was like, a hooker. He killed a hooker. He's like, all right, I need you to get some bleach, some hydrogen peroxide, and a shitload of lime.
Shitload of lime juice or lime. Yeah,
a
lime.
shitload of lime. And he was like, no, a panda. And it's breaking up, and he was like, what? Amanda? He's like, come on, dude. That's probably not even her real name.
He's like, no.
He's like, no, a panda. A cute, sweet, cuddly, vicious little panda. He's like, oh, Tug, don't scare me like that, man. So that's when you hear Ben Stiller or Tug, and he's like, it's beautiful here. And he's like, oh, what, you on the set? And he's like, I am the set. He's like, how's the TiVo going? And he's like, screw TiVo. I'm way beyond TiVo. But last time I checked, they hadn't hooked it up yet.
Which spurs a conversation between Peck and Les Grossman.
Yeah, but what's really funny is I love it when he tells him, he's like, last time I checked, they hadn't hooked it up yet. And he was like, what? No TiVo. So he tells him, he was like, but I've moved on. He's like, where have you moved on to? Because, he's losing his mind.
Yeah.
But Rick is thinking like...
He's been in the jungle by himself for like one fucking day, and he's already lost it.
It's probably been like 8 hours. He's been by himself.
Not even a full day.
Yeah. So he's telling him, but Rick is thinking, man, when you're saying like you moved on, I'm thinking, oh no, like I just got fired. You found better representation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what are we going to do? So he's like, don't worry. He's like, jacket's on. I'm out the door. I'll get this fixed. So one of the guys from the heroin camp comes up behind Ben Stiller and starts choking him and chokes him out. Hangs up on Rick Peck, and you just see him. And he's like, oh, please don't fire me. So they bring...
he goes into... they bring him to the camp for the plant, whatever you want to call it.
And then, but then it cuts away to Kirk and his crew, his everyone that's trying to go home. And Jeff is going through some serious withdrawals, just laying there on the ground. And he's just like, and then he rolls over and he's like, must drink something so I can throw up. So he starts licking the pond.
Yeah, he puts his face in this nasty fucking water that's got God knows what kind of bacteria.
And Kevin's even like, don't drink that. It's like drinking from a petri dish. He was like, Alpha, you have any booty sweat? And then Kirk's like, oh yeah, just let him chug on Alpha's
booty
ass
juice
water.
Yeah, that's it. Ass water. It's like a cure-all.
It's a cure-all.
But yeah, he actually drinks some of this water, and he immediately spits it out, and it looks like fucking pure gasoline.
Yeah.
It is not right.
So they so Alpa and Kirk actually go a little bit back and forth right here because he says that the reason he was like, why'd you even take this part to begin with? And he was like, well, because I knew I had to represent. He's like, because they had
The only good part
was
for
like,
a black man was taken by Kangaroo Jack.
No, Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
And then his facial
right,
expressions changes, and he's like, "That man's a national treasure. Pump your brakes."
You treading on some thin ice now.
And he was like, "Oh, no, I didn't mean anything by it." He's like, "I just want to throw another shrimp on your bobby." And he was like, "That ain't funny." He's like, "You're hitting below the belt, and you're about to cross some fucking lines." He was like, "I'm sorry, the dingo ate your baby." And he was like,
"That's actually a true story.
That was a true story.
Lady lost the kid."
So he gets upset, and Alpa drops the N-word, and Kirk smacks him in the face. And as he goes to punch him, he grabs his
fist, and then he pulls him into a hug.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "For 400 years, that word has kept us down." And Alpa's just like, what the fuck?
And as they break out of the hug, he's like, he's like, "I'm going to tag you back."
Yeah.
He's like, "Just you wait."
Yep. So they go off on their day, but it's funny because Jeff is in the pond walking towards a big kind of buffalo oxen. Like an oxen. And he's just like, I need to bite its hide. I gotta wear its stomach skin like a unitard. And so that's when Kirk just jumps in. He was like, "Ain't nobody doing nothing to no one or a body." He's like, "Now if Mr. Portnoy is feeling a bit foolish," he was like, "and doesn't want to walk, then put him up on that cloven-hooved animal. We got ground to cover."
Cloven-hooved animal.
So then that's when it cuts to Rick Peck showing up at Les Grossman's office with the contract in hand. And he goes making a beeline straight towards Les's.
Cuts past the assistant or secretary,
it's
whatever.
his secretary. And she was like, "Yeah, he's in a meeting." And he's like, "Yeah, in about 2 seconds with Pecker." And then just barges in and walks down these stairs. And you just see Les talking to someone. You don't know who he's talking to.
You hear him say, "I will rip off your tits."
Yeah, "I will rip your fucking tits off." And then he's standing there, and Les just stops his conversation. He's like, "What do you need, Peck?" He's like, "No, Les, what do you need?"
No, he's like, "You need glasses?" He's like, "What?"
Yeah, and he's wearing glasses, so he's just like, "What?" And he's like, "So you can read the clause in my client's contract that guarantees him?"
He had glasses on at that time.
No, he did.
In that scene?
Yeah, in that scene, because he's just like, "What?" Because that's why he's confused. Like, I'm wearing glasses.
See, you got me wanting to watch that scene now.
So, but he sits there and he holds it up and he's like, "So you can read the clause in my client's contract that guarantees him some form of digital recorder on location?" And the guy grabs it and he smacks him in the back as hard as he can. And yet again, another hard backslap.
Yes, unnecessary.
So he tells him, he is like, "Listen, fuckstick, I'm incredibly busy." He's like, "So get out of here before I rip your dick off and shove it up your ass." As he's drinking a Diet Coke.
He's always got Diet Coke on tap.
Yeah. Well, then that's when McConaughey's phone rings, and he was like, "Oh, just in time." He's like, "Listen up, Tugger Nuts. I'm standing here in Les Grossman's office, and he is just dying to tell you why he's going to wipe his ass with the TiVo clause."
Or the TiVo clause in your contract, yeah.
And then he holds it up, and then the guy's just like, it's Flaming Dragon. The Flaming Dragon, the drug cartel. He's like, "This is Flaming Dragon. Tug Speedman's with us now." He's like, "You can have him back for $50 million. So they're thinking, "Oh, well, this is a competing agency. Now he signed with us, so you have to pay us to get him back." And they're like, "No, we're holding him hostage." So he's like, "All right."
He's like, "I don't know who you are, shitbird."
No, he's like, "All right, who is this? How'd you get this phone?" He's like, "It's Flaming Dragon." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "Now listen, I've never even repeat it." Yeah, he's just like, "I've never even heard of your little agency, shitbird." And then so he's like, "Oh no, you pay us $50 million or we kill Tug Speedman." And that's when Les Grossman grabs the phone,
yeah.
And he's like, "All right, this is Les Grossman. Who is this?" He's like, "It's Flaming Dragon." He's like, "Okay, Flaming Dragon. Fuckface." You can literally step back and fuck your own face.
To which it cuts to Flaming Dragon holding the phone.
Yeah.
Or the one member of the Flaming Dragon. Yeah. And he just got this look of shock on his face. Like, he doesn't know how to respond to that. He didn't expect this conversation to go this way.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what kind of Pan-Pacific power play bullshit move you're trying to play here, Jack, but Asia is my territory. He's like, you're going to have to call the United fucking Nations to get a binding resolution to stop me from coming down there and fucking you up. And he's like, I'm talking scorched earth, motherfucker. This is going to be a massacre. I will massacre you.
I will
fuck you up. And then hangs up and throws the phone back to Peck. Walks back behind his desk and just says, can someone find out who that was, please? So with the guys, or with the drug cartel knowing that they have Tug Speedman, one of their only movies that anybody in this camp has ever seen is Simple Jack, which was just an atrocity of a movie.
Think I Am Sam with Sean Penn, but like the dumbed down version. It's I don't even know if you can compare the two. Yeah, no,
I don't think you can. I mean, this is I don't even know. I've never seen anything so bad in my life, and it was a fake movie inside of a fake movie. So it's just that I'm at a loss for words.
He plays a mentally handicapped
farmhand that can talk to animals.
And in this fake movie within a movie, his actual wife in real life, Ben Stiller's wife, plays, I guess, somebody who is his love interest.
Yeah. You make me happy.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's really poorly done.
So when they start torturing Tug Speedman, the head of this entire drug cartel is like a 9-year-old kid who has this huge monkey tattoo. Or I guess it would be a flaming dragon.
It's some kind of demon-looking
It's
tattoo.
probably a flaming dragon.
And he's got this big cigar hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah. And he grabs this cane and just starts whipping.
It looks like it's just a thin, like, bamboo stick or something.
And he's just whipping Tug Speedman as hard as he can.
After
just
burning him in the chest with his cigar.
And he's just like, he's like, please don't hurt me. And then that's what makes him stop. He's like,
what? That
say
sounds
that again.
Familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Say that again. He's like,
please
say
don't
it.
hurt me.
Yeah, and he's like, please don't hurt me. He's like, no, say it like before. He's like, please don't hurt me. And then you just see him. He's like, Ishi wants a Jack.
He's like, Misha Bendo Jack.
Yeah.
Or something. He's like, you are Simple Jack.
He's like, you guys saw Simple Jack? And he tells him, he was like, we have very, very few luxuries. He's like, but we own Simple Jack the movie. We watch it many, many times. He's
like,
on
VHS too.
Yeah. He even says, he's like, oh, you got the VHS. That's okay. And then the guy behind him's just like, you should have got Oscar.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Horrible movie.
Yeah. This movie is
horrible.
It's horrible. This movie. So they just decide, hey, he's going to start doing this movie for us live every night.
Well, first they're like, well, you're Simple Jack. We can get more money out of you.
Yeah.
Or we can extort more money.
Yeah. So
they call back.
Yeah. And well, they make them do the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day when they call back, they tell them like, hey, we not receive money. Price now $100 million. And Les Grossman's just, okay. He's like, wait, let me write this down. 100 million. Wait, I have a better idea. How about I send you a hobo's dick cheese? He's like, and then after that, you can kill him. Skin the fucker for all I care. Go to town. All right. And he's like, until then, just as always, go fuck yourself. Hangs up on him. And then looks at the entire room and just says, we do not negotiate with terrorists.
And then like all the crew or the office members, like they just start clapping.
Yeah. Everybody applauds him. So, Rick is torn because he's like, what are you talking like? He's like, no, you can't do that. They're going to kill him. He's like, and we will weep for him in the press.
And then we'll set up some kind of a charity.
We'll set up a scholarship in his name. And then way
down the road,
we'll file an insurance claim. And then that's when Salam, Bill Hader's character, is just like, well, preferably before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
He's like, and the insurance claim will net us more than the money would lose. So that's when Tom Cruise tells him, hey, you know, we can make this real fun for you, Peck. He puts on the music, Flow Rida, and he starts telling me, he's like, oh, you know, this is where it gets fun, Peck. It's like, I'm talking about lots of money. It's like, yeah, we can do this. And he's like,
Playa.
So he starts dancing to everything, and then he tells him, he's like, oh, big dick playa. And then Bill Hader's in the back, and he was like, yep, swing it past your knees.
He's like, you're in the goodie room.
Yep. He's like, yeah, this is where the goodies are. And he's like, welcome to the goodie room. So he starts telling me, he's like, yeah, he goes, we'll get you a G5 airplane. No more frequent flyer bitch miles for my boy. And then he stands up and turns the music off. He's like, or you can grow a conscience in the next 5 minutes and see where that gets you. So Rick stands up and he's like, you mean to tell me that one of my best friends and my client of 15 years, I just turned my back on him and let him die alone in some jungle? Or I can have a G5. And Les nods saying, yeah. He's like, and money. Lots of money.
He's like,
and he's
G5
like,
airplane.
A G5 airplane.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he really has to think about it. So he turns back on the music and starts dancing. He's like, playa. And then Bill Hader's last words in the scene, he was like, smack it up, flip it, lay it down, rub it down.
Les clearly doesn't care about Tug.
No.
Or his well-being.
No, nor should he. I mean, you know, his whole drive, his whole motivation for anything is, you know, obviously going to be money. So, so then it goes to showing everyone get ready for, you know, how they're going to break Tug out. And I like it when they're sitting around the campfire and Kirk is just polishing his gun. And Alpa even sits there and says, he was like, well, what kind of plan we going to come up with? He was like, look at him. He's polishing the gun. They ain't got no bullets. And he's just like, well, I'm just like a little boy playing with his dick when he gets nervous.
They all just look at him like,
yeah.
What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah. So he sits there and they're like, okay. And Jeff, who has been going through withdrawals this whole time, sits there and says, hey, you know, it's like, I got an idea. And they're listening like, okay, like any idea will work right now. And he's like, you know, back in the 90s, I did a low-budget titty comedy for Skinamax.
Sex camp.
Sex camp. He's like, you remember it. And Kevin's like, yeah. So he tells him, he's like, yeah. He's like, so what we did, he was like, I was from the camp with the not-so-popular kids. We had to build a catapult out of logs and underwear. We shot ourselves over the wall and parachuted down. And then everyone's just staring at him like, what? Okay. Like,
immediately just change it. All right, we're on to the next thing.
So Kevin's like, no, we already know what to do. He's like, we'll do it just like in the book. Just chapter 26, the wet offensive. Mm-hmm. And then Kirk's like,
the Tropic Thunder book.
The book of Tropic Thunder. And he's like, y'all read the book, right? And Jeff is laying over a rock and he's like, I read the backflap.
I saw the pictures.
He's like, okay, don't worry. Just like in the script. And he's like, the script. He's
like, you read the script, right?
I don't read script. Script reads me.
One of the best lines in the whole movie.
And he was like, how could you? And then that's when Kevin's like, what do you even mean? And he was like, book, script, spit that shit out, man. And smiles, but then immediately goes to like a look of disgust in like some weird way. So he tells them what they're going to do. And then they're like, okay, well, Kirk's like, well, let's go scout since he's like, me and Alp are already wearing Earth Mama's natural camo. He's like, easy, Benson. He's like, we're going to go scout. We'll be back. We ain't back in 20. Come looking. So they go to find out what's going on, and then that's when they see that Tug is doing the Simple Jack play. And Alpa...
They're like, damn, I thought the movie was bad.
Yeah. And then you just see him, and he's like, no, he's actually eased up a little bit. And he's like, now you have a little bit of connectivity, and the audience can relate. He's like, this is Theater 101, baby. And then he starts going on another little tangent, and then that's when Alpa just smacks him. But it's funny because when you hear you just see Kirk, he's like, ah!
He's like, I told you I was going to tag you back.
He's like, can I just go ahead and apologize for any offense that I may have caused during this whole thing? But he asked him, he's like, why are you still doing this Chicken George shit? I don't know. And he's like, I don't know either. He's like, it's beyond me. And he's like, it's beyond me too. He's like, you're confused. I am a little confused. He's like, but are we cool?
No,
not really. He's like, all right, I got to get back and start cracking on my costume. You know how to use a needle and thread? That's when he tells him, he's like, man, he's like, Al Pacino Chinos sold over 5 million pair at the Gap last year. I sold them patterns myself, baby.
Yep. He's proud of that.
Yeah. So then I think it cuts to Rick after that, who's having this moral dilemma, because in one hand he has a picture of him and Tug Speedman on the set of Simple Jack, both smiling, waving at the camera and everything, and then in his other hand he has the magazine on
G5.
a G5 owner. So I guess what to expect in that lifestyle. So he and then it cuts to Tug, who is going back into his, I guess, little room or whatever that the cartel has let him have since he's a big star now. So he goes back and he's taking off makeup, and that's when this little kid comes in and presents him with a present. And when he takes the box and opens it up, it's a little Twig Man Oscar. And he's like, it's a Twig Oscar. Twigman. So then it cuts to the guys making their costumes for the next day. And they're all just kind of talking. You know, Kevin's laying there looking at the stars, and he even says, it's like, wow, look at these stars.
Really makes you feel small.
Yeah. And then, you know, they start talking about their life outside of acting. He asked Kirk, you know, are you still dating Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Because I think she's hot.
Yeah. And she was like, no, that was just tabloid conjecture. So they start talking about everything, and he asks Kevin, he was like, do you have someone waiting for you on the other side of tomorrow? He was like, no. He was like, I barely have a girlfriend. What are you talking about? And then he asked Alpa. He was like, what about you? And he was like, what? Al Pacino? He's like 10 girls deep.
Like
24/7. And he was like, nah, man, you're missing the point. It's like, that one person. But now what's funny is at that point they had already tied up Jeff to the tree because he had to go through the withdrawals. Because he finally admitted, like, I haven't been doing jelly beans. It's like, it was drugs.
I'm like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, he was like, I need to sit this mission out. He's like, I'm just going to stay up here, watch the stuff.
He's like, you got to
tie
me to a tree.
Yeah. He was like, you have to tie me to a fucking tree. He was like, no matter what I say, I'm going to be like, oh, cool, guys.
I'm good. You can untie me now.
I'm good. It's like, no, everything I fucking say is a lie. So it shows him. And I don't know why he's in his underwear. That's what makes no sense to me. But he's in his underwear tied to this tree, and he's like, yeah, anybody got any bug spray?
Don't ignore me.
Yeah, and nobody says anything or even reacts to it, and he's just like, don't ignore me. So they're just, and then that's when Kirk tells him, he's like, you're just going to have to tough it out, bud. Sorry. So then, you know, he starts, Kevin starts talking about other things, and then Jeff tells him, oh, well, Kevin. He's like, Radar. Evans. He's like, Kevin? He's like, yeah, I didn't tell you, but Fatty's Fart 3 is coming down the pike. There's a roll in it for you if you come over here and untie me, buddy. He's like, no, sorry, Jeff.
You're going to have to tough it out.
You have to tough it out. And he's like, your mother was a cankerous whore. Hey, remember way back when I said your mom was a cankerous whore? I didn't mean that. She's not.
Like, he actually knows her.
Yeah. So then Alpa is talking about, you know, the love of his life, because there's that one person. You know, you can have a lot of women around, but you need that one person. And so they asked her, like, you know,
what's her name?
Well, it's funny because Kirk even says, he was like, no, he's like, when you get back, you just got to walk up and be like, baby, you and me, we're going on a date. That's what's happening. He was like, you know, what's her name? And he just, in a moment of weakness, he just says, Lance. And he was like, yeah, you just sit there. Wait, what the fuck did I just hear? Lance? And everyone's like, did you say Lance? And he was like, no. And he was like, what? No, it sounded like Lance.
He's like, no, everybody knows Al Pacino loves the pussy.
Yeah, I love the pussy. It's like, that's it. So he's like, well, it just sounded like Lance. He's like, I said Nance. He's like, you know what? We got work to do. He's like, lay down, look at your stars. Mm-hmm. He's like, everybody just get focused. So then Jeff tells him, he's like, Alpa. He's like, if you come over here and untie me right now, I will literally suck your dick. It's like, I can't remember exactly how he puts it. He was like,
he's like, I'll work the shaft. I'll cradle the balls.
I'll cradle the balls. I'll work the shaft.
He's like, damn it. Something the pipe.
Yeah.
And swallow the gravy.
Yeah, he was like, I'll cradle the balls. I'll work the shaft. I'll
something the pipe.
Yeah, and crank the pipe and I'll swallow the gravy. It's like, get it over here, buddy. Let's do this.
Let's do this thing.
So so then it shows the next day, and they have Jeff up on the oxen, covered up with a sheet, and Kirk is leading them down to the gate,
dressed like a Vietnamese rice farmer or some.
And that's what he tells him. He was like, I caught this foreign devil.
He's speaking in Mandarin, I guess.
Yeah, he learned Mandarin because of his work in a movie that he spent. He spent like
8 months. Yeah.
Yeah, in a Beijing sweat factory. So he tells him, you know, it's like, all right. Well, he starts talking to everyone. He's like, I caught this guy in my rice paddy last night. He's like, observe God's mistake. So they bring him inside, and the little kid, the leader of the cartel, the drug cartel, comes walking up, and he starts saying, you know, like,
where did you find
him? And he's like, in my rice paddy last night. And he was like, wait, you farm at night? And he was like, oh, well, I meant this morning. But the other two guys are coming in on the little creek on the outside of the camp.
They're sneaking in. And Kirk, he's trying to distract everybody so they can sneak in and rescue Tugman.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's saying like weird things. He's like, "Oh, my pea brain is dehydrated
because he's not thinking straight.
I need electrolytes."
He's like, "My small pea brain is constipated."
He's constipated. So Alpa finds Cody and Four Leaf and unties them, and then immediately, right when he takes the gag off of Cody's mouth, he's got hands. Yeah, he's got hands. Well, I don't know how long he was waiting to tell someone that he knew.
But it's funny, like, Alpa doesn't even respond to it.
Yeah. And then
like, he don't give a shit. He's got an agenda. He's trying to get them out of here.
Yeah. And then, well, what's great is he's like, he's got hands. And then Four Leaf's like, he blinded Jamie Lee Curtis. And he's like, almost.
But, Cody, he's like, we got enough explosives in here to, like, light this place up like the 4th of July.
Yep. And then, Alpa just keeps looking outside, and he realizes that things are like they're going to take a turn for the worse real quick, like really soon. So he, they're getting ready for everything. Well, finally, the
whole reason
Kirk Lazarus is saying that he's getting back to his poppy fields, and he is like, wait, you said you had a rice paddy. Now you're saying you have poppy farm. Which is it? He's like, where is your farm?
I diversify.
Yeah, he's like, I diversify. He's like, I do both.
But no, he panics when he asks him where the farm is. He's like,
yeah. So finally he pulls out 2 machine guns and just starts firing. He's like, here's my motherfucking farm. And then fires, and everyone gets down. And then as soon as he stops firing, he's like, I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff he grabs the kid, and he was like, all right, nobody move or the little big dude gets it.
Yeah, so he's holding a pistol on him because he wants to find the drugs.
Yeah, and I like Kirk because Kurt's like, yeah, he's like, we're running this shit now, JP. And he was like, where are the drugs? And just takes off. He's like, don't judge me.
He happens to find the hut or whatever that Speedman is in.
Yeah, so they find Speedman. Alpa is a one-man army with 2 fake machine guns trying to hold like 10 or 12 people just laying on the ground.
Least.
Yeah. So so they find Tug, and Kirk is the one that finds Tug. And he tells him, he's like, all right, I got you. Roll up your shit. We're getting out of here. And Tug has just lost his mind. He's sitting there like, why would I want to leave?
Like he's accepted fate. He's calling this place home now.
Yeah, I do five shows,
standing shows, standing room only shows.
Yeah, I do 5 shows a day to a standing room only. It's like, don't you get it? I am home. And he's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So everybody else shows up and they're like, come on. We have to get out of here. And he tells him, he's like, no, man. He's like, we're trying to get him. He's like, he's lost it a little bit. He's like, same thing happened to me when I played Neil Armstrong, Moonshot. They found me in the back of Burbank behind an old abandoned warehouse trying to re-enter the atmosphere in an old refrigerator box. So they start talking, and he's telling him, he's like, no, he's like, come on, we have to get out of here. And that's what everybody is stressing, like, we have to get out of here.
And he shows him the Twigman.
Yeah, and he was like, this is Twigman. My son gave it to me. And he was like, does he want to come with us?
Right.
So then he starts telling him, he was like, all right, now say it after me. I'm Tug. And he's like, I'm Tug. It's like, all right, now Tug who? Tug who? I don't know. Who are you? It's like, oh, I know who I am. I'm the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. So he was like, well, maybe you're the dude that doesn't know what duty is. And he was like, oh, what?
But he says he does.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So then he starts telling me, he was like, oh, you're just scared. And he was like, oh, scared of what? He was like, no, it's who? Oh, scared of who? He was like,
scared of you.
And he's holding the mirror and he just smacks it out of his hand and falls.
He like sees his reflection and it's like he has this coming to God moment where he doesn't realize who he is anymore because he's gone through, way too much just to be this successful method actor.
Yeah. So he falls to the ground, and then that's when Tug says, the dudes are emerging. And Kirk he's right, And then that's when he starts taking off like his afro hair.
His wig off.
And he was like, I am not Sergeant Lincoln Osiris. And then he goes to take off his sideburns, and that's when his character changes again. He's like, nor my father O'Malley. And then he's wiping off his goatee, and he's like, or Neil Armstrong.
Which is funny because I didn't know that Neil Armstrong spoke that way.
Neither did I. But then he rubs his eyes, and immediately, like, his eyes change colors. Like he's taking his contacts out or something.
Even though he was putting them in.
Yeah. And his eyes are this deep, like brightest.
Obnoxiously, like, bright blue.
Yeah. And he's like, I think I might be nobody. And that's when Kevin's finally like, oh my God, the insecurity levels with you guys is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, you are Kirk Lazarus.
He's like, I memorized every one of your monologues. You're the reason I became an actor.
Yeah. And he's just like, really? Huh.
Really?
So it's great that you have this finally happening with all these guys. Well, they realize, like, hey, we have to get out of here. So they're going back and forth. And then, Kirk's like, okay, yeah, we do have to leave. But then he was like, come on, Tugger, you're the last piece of this equation. Are you with us? And you can see him like thinking about it. And then he just looks up and says, I'm a Rooster Illusion. It's like, fuck it. We'll deal with them later.
So they basically have to drag him out by his arm, just you're coming with us whether you like it or not.
Yeah, so you can tell that he's been in this hut for like one day. He says he does five shows a day for a standing room only, but then as soon as he walks outside, he throws his hands up. He's like, ah! like the sun
he
is
hasn't
too
seen
much.
he hasn't seen daylight in God knows. It
like
was almost
4 years or something.
like Lawrence coming out of his apartment in Office Space. Oh, hey, Peter, man.
Yeah. So, they find a truck. They get on the truck and they start driving out.
They had rigged 4-leaf, the actual 4-leaf, with a flamethrower. Yeah. So he can distract everybody and allow everyone else to escape.
Yeah, and he's running down the road where the truck is heading because everyone's heading to the chopper, where Cody has gone to fire up the chopper and get it ready so they can take off. But he's also rigged the bridge to blow. So as he's running, Jeff's on the back of the truck. The door flies open, and he turns around. He's like, 4-leaf! And he turns around, he grabs him, throws him up on the truck.
And he notices immediately that he's got hands.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand it, so he's like, you grew hands?
Oh, man, though, we did miss one great line. The scene where they're talking about the map and, the river, when they get separated from Speedman. Yeah. And he says Viet Congs.
Oh, yeah.
To which Alpa corrects him. He's like Viet Cong. He's like, you're adding an S. It's already plural. He's like, you wouldn't say Chinese's. Points to his head like, duh.
So as they're driving away, Kirk looks back, and the little kid emerges and has an RPG. And he goes to fire it, and Kirk's like, RPG, gentlemen. So they all jump off, but Kevin's driving the truck, and he's like, where are you going?
Where's everyone going? Yeah, he stays in the truck as it gets hit by this RPG, and then the truck flips over. And then it cuts to a slow motion, with the high-pitched ringing, like, like you normally hear right after an explosion.
Yeah, and, Tug's trying to get his bearings, and he's looking around at his men, and Jeff is laying on the ground just with his feet up in the air, and he's
grabbing
shaking.
His ass.
Yeah, and he's like, my ass. And then it shows him again right after, and he's like, my ass.
So you can only imagine as he, jumped from the truck, he probably landed flat on his ass.
Yeah, and then here's Alpa, and he's like, Tug, your men need you. He's like, we got to get Kandinsky to the chopper. And then that's when Tug finally corrects him, and he's like, Sandusky. And you see Kevin look like, what? He's like, Kevin Sandusky. He's like, he remembered my name. So,
and it's funny, like, Jeff Portnoy, he's in this dress that he
stole from a
old
little
lady. Yeah, because he needed to get some kind of clothes on.
Yeah. So he starts getting up, and he was like, Alpa, you go help Cody with the chopper. He's like, Jeff, you get Kevin across the bridge. So they start going, and Tug just waits on the middle of the bridge, and he's like, Kirk. And as he runs back, he's like, yeah. He's like, you get these boys home. He's like, I'll deal with these guys. He's like, what do you mean? No, come on, you got to go. And he's like, no, I found a home here.
I have a connection with these guys.
Yeah, he's like, I have some type of weird connection. He's like, I got a little son. His name is Half Squat. He's like, who the bloody fuck is Half Squat?
He says, crikey, fuck.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's like, he's my son. He's like,
he needs me.
Yeah, so he tells him, he's like, no, you take care of the boys. And then he gives him a hug, and he's like, you tell the world what happened here.
What happened here?
I don't know, but you have to tell them.
He's like, all right.
He's like,
so he runs back to the chopper.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, he's gone. And they're like, what, he's not coming? And he's like, nope, he's a lost cause. Mm-hmm. We got to get out of here.
He's accepted that.
So then you hear a bunch of machine gun fire, and they're all looking at the bridge. And here comes Tug again, who has Half Squat on his back.
Stabbing him with
repeatedly.
The tiniest little knife you can imagine.
Which, it has to be, so annoying. So he's yelling, blow the bridge. I was wrong. Mm-hmm. Blow the fucking bridge. So he throws the kid out in the river and takes off. And then 4-leaf's like I got this.
He runs out, because he's got to push the handle on the plunger.
Yeah, to set the bombs off.
Right.
So he does it. And then you have Ben Stiller gets kind of caught up in the explosion. It pushes him forward, then sideways. So he flies out into everything, and then you just see Kirk, and he's like, he's gone. And so they're thinking, okay, well, we have to leave. Well, that's when Kevin, he's like, look. And he's coming up out of the out of the trench.
It's almost a carbon copy of the beginning scene of the movie.
And throws his arms up in the air, very like Platoon style, and just collapses. So Kirk's thinking, well, I have to run and get him. And he looks at his crew, and he's just, cover me!
He's way too close to that explosion, so Kirk's got to come and pick him up and get him to the chopper.
So they have this moment there, and he was like, I know who you are. You're my friend. It's like, and my brother. It's like, but not like a brother. It's like, you know, our brother where there's no animosity. And he starts crying. And he's like, oh, look at that, mate, right there. Real tears.
You got some real tears going there, mate.
He's like, that's what accolades are made of. So they gets him up and gets him to the chopper. They go to take off. Well, that's when the drug cartel's back and the kid has the RPG again. And as they're going up into the air, you hear Rick Peck, and he's like, Tugger! And he's coming through the jungle. His clothes are all torn and tattered. His face is dirty, and he's holding a box that says TiVo. And he was like, my friend wants a TiVo. My friend gets a TiVo. So the kid fires the RPG again. McConaughey throws it up in the air, intercepts the missile in midair with this TiVo, and they're able to get away.
But it's like it's so close. The explosion is way too close to the chopper. Like this TiVo would not have done anything to stop this rocket from blowing up.
But talk about an amazing advertisement scheme.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Saved 6 people on a helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Not just for digital entertainment.
Yep. So, you know, they're able to fly away, and McConaughey's throwing his hands up in the air like, yeah, all right, I saved my friend with the TiVo.
Runs back into the jungle.
But I love it when he takes off because he's like, and just runs down this miscellaneous trail.
And it's funny because it's an overhead shot of, you know, McConaughey running into the jungle, and it's clearly CGI.
Yeah,
like,
it looks so fake.
Why couldn't they just use a drone to get this aerial shot and have him actually running?
I don't know.
It would have looked so much better.
Yeah, it would have. So then, but it shows Tug Speedman's face, and it just kind of like pauses, and then it starts to pan out, and it shows a bunch of other clips coming at it where it's in the future. Well, not the future, but like, you know, months.
Not long after this movie had come out, they actually made the movie.
Yeah, they're at the Oscars. And the movie that they starred in was Tropic Blunder, the attempt to make Tropic Thunder the most expensive fake war movie ever. And Tug Speedman wins the Oscar for it. So as he goes up there, it goes to Les Grossman's office as he's sitting there with his shirt unbuttoned still, and this massive amount of chest hair, and he's clapping, and you see his assistant, and he's like, 8 Oscars, $400 million, and you saved Tug Speedman's career. And then that's when Grossman tells him, he's like, you know, he's like, I couldn't have done it without you. And he's like, really?
Really?
He's like, yeah, no, of course I could, dickhead.
He's like, nutless monkey could do your job.
And then he's like, kidding. Joking. He's like, there he is. He's like, all right, now go to the parties and take credit. And he's like, oh, no.
I would never do that.
Yeah, and he goes to get up, and he's like, hey, seriously, though? A nutless monkey could do your job. He's like, okay, yes, sir. And then leaves. But when he leaves, that's when he's looking, sits up.
He looks to make sure that the room is clear, and then he very, very slowly leans forward so he can grab his sunglasses off of the table in front of him.
Then he switches the lighting and hits his little remote.
To play Ludacris.
Yep.
Get back, motherfucker. You don't know me like that. So it's just this whole end, like right before the credits roll, this dance sequence with Les Grossman.
Which is great.
It's so funny. Seeing Tom Cruise in this fat suit looking like this old like Jewish producer guy.
Yeah. Oh, so great. So great. I love the ending of this movie.
And that is Tropic Thunder, my friends.
Yes. It's, oh, God, easily top 5.
It is such a good movie. Anybody who hasn't seen this, and I think there aren't as many people who have seen this one as some of the others that we've done so far.
Yeah.
But definitely one that I would recommend. Keep an open mind.
Yeah,
and take off your offensive hat.
Yeah, I honestly believe that this is, I think, probably a movie where someone did see it, and when they saw it the first time, they're like, God, this sucks.
It might be. It is one of those movies where it's like the more you watch it, the more you
the more you watch it, the more you watch it, the better it's going to be.
For sure.
So, but hey, Morgan, what are we doing next week? Give us a little tease.
I'm in a glass case of emotions.
Another top 5 movie.
Milk was a bad choice. Good stuff, man. We made it through another episode.
Yep.
We're still not canceled.
Nope.
We'll have to wait till this one actually comes live, though.
Yep.
But awesome. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And until next time.
Yeah, and I will give it to you one last time. You
make me happy.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.